So now we're starting to come into the more interesting part of this road. One of the more interesting roads that we have around my area. So let's check out the road handling. Throttle in 6th gear. She's got good mid-range. Almost got 90 miles an hour there. This is of course a 90 mile an hour speed limit here. And we got some slight turns, not really challenging the grip levels too much, but it's always interesting to go around the curves with the dirt bike, basically. So we're coming up into a little bit more exciting parts of this road here, a little bit sharper turns. Out the brake a little bit. Not really any brake needed for a lot of these turns, but I see a truck up there that I don't want to catch because I don't want to miss out on the fun parts of those turns up there. So we'll do a little weave action here. And yeah, as with any dirt bike, it, you know, wants to get itself stood straight back up as quick as it can. So, and the front has a little grip. It can be a little head shaky, but let's power out of this turn. Open for a little bit. She held about 85 miles an hour. I'm not really tucking down too much, so to me it's probably about a 90 mile an hour bike. It's probably one of the few times I'll actually go that fast on this bike, to tell you the truth. I don't ride on the road a lot. I don't find the roads fun to ride on down here, honestly. So kind of fun for me just to give it a little test. We're dual sport, so of course go through the grass when you can. We'll get a little visor up time and cool off. It's a pretty hot day here in Florida. Alright, so that was pretty much the first time I gave her a high-speed shakedown. And I don't ride like that a lot. It's just not fun for me. But I like to test it out. I like to see what the bikes are capable of and see how they feel on the road, because I do touch the road often, but not in a commuting fashion or you know, to get from point A to point B, just having a little blast around like I just did. So that's more or less what I would do with my dual sports, and of course, you know, transit from trail to trail once I get to that point. But yeah, it's got tons of power on the road. I mean, more so than I need, because I'm not a road rider. I don't need to hold steady at 80 miles an hour for 400 miles like a Harley or Cruiser would be. It feels really good. The mid-range is real good. You know, it reaches the top of the RPM range fairly quickly and it stays there. It's smooth power delivery. So for my very limited amount of road use, it feels good for me. It feels really good. So around the turns back there, you know, it was okay. I mean, I'm not experienced on the road so much, so you know, I don't really plan to do much of that. This is the stuff I'd more or less be doing. And this is why I like dual sports, because you can do whatever you want with them. Got a lot of power in second gear. I'm not a wheelie person, but it'll definitely pull up. Eyes are down. It really rose through the gears quite nicely too. It sounds real smooth. Just love the way it sounds. And I know I got a super heavy stock exhaust system on here, but the motor sound coming out of here is real nice. Real good tone to it. Eventually I'll put an exhaust on it, but I might keep the stock exhaust around to switch back and forth with, because being silent or somewhat quiet out in the woods is oftentimes a benefit. So we'll not dedicate one way or the other full. Alright, so here's like a little normal 60-mile-an-hour cruise. This is what I imagine to be a 55-mile-an-hour road. And this turn coming up says 25 miles an hour, so we can test out the grip a little bit. I am very familiar with this road, so. And as with any dirt bike, it's very top heavy. It's not low to the ground. On a Harley or a Cruiser, you wouldn't even really need to lean on these bikes, but with this, I like putting my body into it a little bit, leaning over, sticking the knee out, kind of. Once again, I'll reiterate, I don't really know what I'm doing. It's not, street riding is not something I normally do, so I just stick my knee out like a MotoGP rider, because I think it looks cool for nobody that's watching. But we're talking about the grip level. So the grip on these stock tires really isn't bad. The knobbies are kind of soft on them, which is good. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to challenge the grip level of this bike. So probably not the best to speak on what the limits are of the tires. And I'll definitely be switching to more of a dirt tire, if not a full dirt. Well, definitely a full dirt tire. These are probably 70-30s, 70 dirt, 30% road, but I'm definitely going to go full-time dirt with my tire choice. So this is probably some of the best that it's going to feel on the road. Alright, this isn't going to be a true dirt test, but more or less a little gravel road. Here it goes to a boat ramp, so we can. I just love the power. I love spinning that rear wheel up. So on this limestone type of gravel, Florida gravel I could call it basically, it feels great. I mean, I'm only going 30 miles an hour, but definitely feels confident. I'm not going to spend much time. It's an active boat ramp, one that we actually use, one that's kind of a really pain. Hey, what's up, Honda brethren? Honda Aquatrax. Cool little turbocharged Honda there. Kind of fun. Fishtailed out on me a little bit. So this is probably the type of road that these tires are gonna excel most at, is this gravel dirt road. It's not asphalt, it's not muddy or wet dirt, it's kind of dry, a little bit loose. Enough power and you'll spin the rear wheel. That's where I spun the rear wheel on the way in. So definitely has the power to do what you want. Alright, so it's worth noting too that this bike goes into neutral really easily. The Honda Monkey and the Grom are almost impossible to find neutral with, but this one is real easy to find neutral with. And I have my motocross boots on too, so it's just a real compliant tick. And you're right there. No puddles just yet. Alright, so let's get back to the task at hand and go find some dirt.